What is happening, guys? It's your boy TC back with another video. So this is another episode of the Daily Gunners Talk, and in today's episode we'll be discussing two bits of news that have actually been emerging today. The first one being Harry Kane discussing his regret when he got let go by Arsenal when he was a youth player, and the second topic we will certainly be discussing in today's episode will be in regards to Arsenal's former player, and that is Emmanuel Eboue. So as mentioned, the first topic of discussion is Harry Kane being let go as a youngster by Arsenal. As we all know, Harry Kane used to be part of Arsenal's youth setup. It was let go roughly around the age of 11. And yesterday, if you all know, if you are keeping track of these things, I'm not too particularly keen on Spurs, but it's a bit slow news today, so I thought I'll put this one out. Harry Kane scored his 100th Premier League goal, and it's quite a reasonable achievement. Not many players do get to hit that achievement, but the main focal point of his actual interview that has been released to mark this particular landmark is in regards to the regret or the frustration that he has due to the fact that he was released by Arsenal. He has stated that every time he goes out to play for Arsenal, in particular the first North London derby, he was visualising the time that he was actually released by Arsenal, and apparently this is the motivation that spurs him on, and no pun intended, by the way, and that is what he actually visualises up before each and every North London derby. He remembers the moment and the day that he was released by Arsenal, and it sounds as if it obviously hurt him. I do believe that he's an Arsenal fan deep down, and truthfully speaking, of course, he may not turn out to be the player that he is now. I hate to say this, I really do hate to say this, but they've got a world-class striker in their hands, and if we had kept hold of him, we never know what would have been. But he certainly regrets, and he actually still thinks about the moment he was let go by Arsenal. And yeah, he says that's his main motivation, to push on and prove all the doubters wrong. I believe he's certainly done that now. I don't really care much about Harry Kane and what he achieves, but for as a football fan and someone who obviously supports the English national team, I believe that he's done magnificently well. It's yet to be seen if he will be able to perform at the big stage. Tottenham don't win cups, they don't go to finals, so essentially we're gonna have to wait until we get to the World Cup to see what essentially he is made of. But there's always that talk that Premier League players are burnt out by the time we get to the summer in time for the World Cup. They certainly don't have enough energy left in the tank. But the whole point of this particular story by Harry Kane is the fact that he regrets and still thinks about the point that he was actually released by Arsenal. So moving on, in the next story within this episode will be in regards to a former player, and that was Emmanuel Eboue. So Emmanuel Eboue has been going through a rough patch within his personal life. He has certainly come across hard times recently. He was certainly a multi-millionaire at one point, but he went through a very, very rough divorce with his wife, and the wife retained all their assets, and I believe it's a very, very bad situation to find yourself in as an individual. He would have worked very, very hard to actually gain and actually accumulate the assets that he did have, countless times going up and down the country, in and around Europe, traveling to play football in order for him to actually accumulate and get these assets. So he's been speaking to a French TV channel, and the story is still within the press. It sort of died down in the last couple of weeks, but the story has returned, and he's saying that he does want a role in football. He believes he still has the ability to play football, and at the moment he's living a very, very hard life, in the sense that he's living in a house where he can essentially get kicked out at any point. It was reported, I think it was Fenerbahce, his old team, had offered him a house and a job as a coach, but we don't really know what ended up happening with that particular situation. He's actually appearing to be back where he was. He's still living with his goods in his bag. He said essentially his whole life is in his bag, and at any point he can get kicked out of his house. He has obviously battled depression, which is a very, very massive talking point at the moment in society, and he's certainly battled suicide, which is obviously led on by the depression, but by the signs of it, he has come through on the other side unscathed, and kudos to him, really. It takes a lot of strength, and it takes a lot of courage to come out and discuss topics like depression depression and suicide, etc. So hopefully things will work out for the best for him. And I don't know why Arsenal won't offer him a job. He was certainly a cult figure at Arsenal. A lot of people loved him, a lot of people hated him, but he was essentially a cult figure at the club. So I hope that the club will see some sense and actually offer him a job. It won't cost much for them in order for him to obtain his badges, etc. Just for him to earn a little bit of money. But of course, these things happen to everyone. But we thought we'll talk about this topic in today's episode of the Daily Gunners Talk. As usual, guys, please do let me know what you think in the comments below. If you are watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, please do make sure that you do hit that subscribe button. So once again, guys, it's your boy TC from I'm Gonna Talk TV, and I'm out.